What if achieving greatness is just a matter of setting unrealistic high goals? So welcome to another episode of the Unstoppable Mindset series, where I'm going to discuss how to turn unrealistic goals into reality. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Dreyer, and I'm thrilled to have you join me here today as we delve into another crucial aspect of achieving success in life. Today, let me walk you through the power of setting unrealistic goals and harness the power of your unstoppable mind in order to achieve literally any goal that you set yourself. The idea that by setting unrealistic goals, you can achieve much more than you ever thought possible is a concept that's been around for many, many years, and it's been proven time and time again to be true. So maybe let me give you a little bit of a background quickly about how this came about. You see, I failed my matric. I'm very proud of that. Everyone, of course, had a lot to say at that point in my life, but I've never been interested in academics and stuff like that. I wanted to make a lot of money. So unfortunately for me, I was 16, turning 17 that year. And my mom said to me, you have to go back because without a matric certificate, you are not going to stand a chance in this competitive world that we're in. Now, we're talking way, way back. I'm 65 at the moment, as you can see. Right. So I went back, and unfortunately for me, I passed with E's and F's. My mom had other ideas. She said, then you have to go to university. I was 17, 18 years of age. And she said to me, the moment that you've got a university degree, you're going to have an unfair advantage over people that only have got a matric. Now, in the third semester, I dropped out. I saw that this thing is not going to work. And then a series of failures started. I could not find a job. I tried several sales jobs, which I failed miserably in. And I started two businesses. And in 82, I was 24 at that point. My last business, I could see there's no ways that I could, this thing was failing. And I was so in debt that it was unreal. But I've read a book by Mondino, The Greatest Secret in the World. And I wanted to know what was that secret. Why is it that some people are successful and others are not? The majority of people are not going to make it. And I couldn't find that the secret as such. I've read that book over and over, and the fourth time in scroll 4, there's one verse that changed my life. And that verse says, I'm not on this earth by chance. I'm here for a purpose. And that purpose is not to shrink into a grain of sand, but to grow into a mountain. And henceforth, I'll apply all my efforts to become the highest mountain of them all, and I will strain my potential until it cries for mercy. I read that verse several times because somewhere, something, a light bulb came on. You see, at the past, we base our goals that we've set. My goal was basically just to break even or to make a little bit of a profit at that point in time. But I slowly started drifting lower and lower and lower. And as I read this book, I realized, but I have to strain my potential until it cries for mercy. In other words, I cannot put out an average goal. I have to strain that potential. I have to get out of my comfort zones. I have to do something that I've never, ever done before. It's only then that I can grow. But the results will be completely different than my past. So the past does not equal my future. And I made a commitment. And that commitment, I then documented. In other words, I sat down, remember, everything is a failure. And I wrote several goals, not knowing how I'm going to do it, because I was inspired to know that I was never born to become small, a grain of sand. I was there to become the highest mountain of the all. And I was prepared to strain my potential. Of course, I didn't know at that stage. And I did not know at that stage that it actually meant to gain the skills in order to turn into the person that can make your dreams a reality. I've written a book since then, a couple of years ago, about power goal. And a power goal is an unrealistic goal. It's not a realistic goal. It's not a smart goal. The moment that you get into smart goals, you're setting yourself up for failure. Now, one of the things that I've said at that point in time is to be financially free at the age of 60. 60 to me was so unrealistic that instead of 65, that was the normal retirement age. And I wanted to have a house that's paid fully paid, as well as 5 houses to give me a passive income. Right. That to me was, there's no ways that you can achieve something like that. Taking into consideration, I failed my matric. I dropped out at university 2 years later, and now I've set a goal to get a doctorate degree, a PhD degree. I think that you'll agree with me that it's unrealistic. But you see, I've discovered a concept, and the concept of an unstoppable mindset, because the moment that you know exactly what it is that you want, and it becomes such a great goal that it motivates you, then everything is going to change. Because the reason why you want to set that goal is to develop the right attitude, the right belief system, the right habits, and you can only do that through the right mindset. Without the right mindset, it's simply not possible. Now, it did not happen overnight, but I can assure you, a couple of years ago, for example, a client said to me something, and I said, I can buy 49 properties in 94 days without costing me a cent. And those properties will pay themselves over the next 5-7 years, which did. Now, when other people listen to that, it's going to be unrealistic. But you see, they haven't got the right attitudes or the belief systems. They haven't got the right habits. And because of that, they will never gain the skills. And if you do not have the skills, you're not going to achieve that. So the moment that you set that goal and you attach that unstoppable mindset to it, you can achieve anything that you dream of. You can make all those unrealistic goals real. Now, I know what you may be thinking. You may be thinking, honest, but setting up unrealistic goals is just a recipe for disappointment and failure. Because that is what happened to me in 1982 and before that. Because I set a goal and I failed. I set a goal, small goals that I thought maybe this goal is achievable and maybe this is a realistic goal. And then I failed. But you see, the universe had a different story in mind for me. And that story was to show you that you cannot become normal. And what we think normal or average is actually a massive, massive failure in all aspects of our lives. We have to strive to become the highest mountain of them all. That's what I've read in Okmandino's that fourth scroll, is to strain your potential to become the highest mountain of them all. That is going to be dependent on you. But to strain a little bit to achieve the goal, that's the way that the universe showed me at that point in time. Listen, this is not working for you. So in fact, it's setting unrealistic goals is one of the most effective ways to unlock your full potential and achieve greatness. And I see this time and time again with my students. The moment that they let go of this limited beliefs that they've got, then their life changes. And their life changes in all areas of life. Normally they start off with want to make a lot of money or be financially free at a certain stage. But as soon as you start with that goal process, because the function of a goal is not necessarily to reach the goal, it's to become the person that can make this goal a reality. In other words, a person that has got the right mindset, the right belief systems, the right habits, the right attitude. The moment that you've got that, then the goal becomes a reality. The goal is a byproduct of being the person that can make the goal a reality. And that's what you want. Now, once you understand that, you can bring this to any other area of your life. If it's in a relationship, I met my wife literally after I've made that commitment 3 weeks later. 6 months later, we got married. We are married now for 41 years. I can tell you that I love my wife today more, if it's at all possible, than when we got married. And it's a relationships that keep on growing. The same with friends, relationship with my body, with everything. It's unrealistic. When I said that I'm going to marry the most incredible woman ever, people thought that I was crazy because all my relationships up to that point was chaotic. 3 weeks later, I met Tanya. 6 months later, we got married. Incredible. Yeah, okay. So I think I know what you may be thinking. You may be saying, yeah, but it's so high likely to fail that I rather not said it, because we've got this fear of failure. But we've also got the fear of success because we've never been successful. And therefore, we are, on the one hand, we're afraid for success. And on this side, we are afraid that we're going to fail. And therefore, we do nothing with our lives. Instead of just saying, right, I'm going to shoot for the stars, if you get to the moon, my friend, that is 100 times more than what the average person will ever do in his life. So what are the advantages of setting our realistic high goals? I'm not going to go into the book or a webinar that I've got. Let me give you some of them. First of all, it's going to force you to push yourself beyond your limits. Those limits that you've set, those are your limits. It's not the truth. Just go and have a look. Someone else have done that and better than what you think are the limits. Right. People that were at school with you, as an example, and you thought these people will never be able to achieve that. And now when you compare yourself, you say, whoa, what's gone wrong here? Because I got a lot of better marks than this guy. I can speak on far better. I can articulate myself better in Afrikaans and English in any language. How is it that this person that don't know how to speak English or Afrikaans can achieve the stuff that he or she's achieved? So it's going to push you beyond your limits. That's what you want. You're going to develop a greater level of discipline and determination, a lot more than when you try to achieve the normal stuff that everyone wants to achieve. It's going to help you to prioritize your efforts. I've written another book called The Formula for Riches. This formula for riches starts with the intent. The intent equals, we can summarize that part with focus. Focus is what's going to push you and put you in a position where other people will not achieve, and it will be unrealistic to them. But suddenly you're going to see that it's unrealistic, but by doing the right stuff in the right order, you're going to achieve it. Because what is success? Success is a progressive realization of a worthy goal. It does not say achievable goal. It says a worthy goal, a worthy ideal. That is what old Nightingale is saying. But how do you get there? You need to get the right information or skill sets in the right order for the level of the game that you're at. And then you have to do it. It's in the doing that things are happening, because that is where the learning happens. The learning does not happen in book knowledge and getting degrees, my friend. The learning happens by doing and seeing what works, and compare that with your investment growth rate to see if that is greater than your financial freedom growth rate. Because if it's not, you know that you are on your way to disaster, that it's not going to work for you. But most people don't know it because they don't want to take introspection. They don't want to discover themselves and the greatness that's within it, because it means straight. It means you have to work for that. It's not going to fall in your lap. It's not going to fall. Successful people, my definition, by the way, for success is the ability to bear pain. People don't want to have to go through the pain. But that's the only way that you can have all the success and make all the dreams come true, is to start developing yourself, the inner you, by gaining the skills that is necessary to have that. Because the moment that you've got that, you're going to start gaining the skills. And the moment that you've got that skill, that is what's going to help you to get there. So it's going to help you to focus, to prioritize your efforts. It's going to help you to develop new skills and new knowledge. Those skills and knowledges that you are putting together, my friend, that is what's going to make you and put you in a position to do whatever you dream of doing. And that is the byproduct. If you want a Mercedes G-Wagon, then flip and buy it. But you buy it cash. You don't go to the bank. If I want a game farm, I said I'm going to buy a game farm without costing me a cent. People laugh at me until I bought the game farm and it didn't cost me a cent. At the moment, I'm busy with a challenge where I picked up R1. There's the rand. I've got it here. I picked up a rand and I said I'm going to turn it into 100,000 rand per month business here in South Africa. People are laughing at me. So what? This is what I'm busy doing. It's unrealistic. Do I need to know how to do it? No, I don't need to know how to do it. Luckily, there's a strategy and a system that you can follow in order to do it. So by setting an unrealistic goal, you're going to create a vision of what is possible, what is going to motivate you in order to do things that normal, ordinary people will never be able to do it. So what are you waiting for? I want you to start setting those unrealistic high goals today and watch your life literally transform before your eyes. This is what I want you to do. I want you to go down into the comment section and tell me, what's your dream? What is it that you want? Not what your mom told you that you should do. What is it that you want? I never wanted to get degrees, by the way. I've got a PhD degree, but it's something that I wanted to prove to myself in 1982 when I wrote it down. One of the things that I wrote down, remember, with all this failure, I said that I'm going to get a doctorate degree. Do you think for one moment when I wrote that down, it was because I was inspired that I wrote it down? But do you think I really thought that I would be able to do it? No. But you know what? Once that seed is planted and you've got an unstoppable mindset, which is a skill that you have to learn, there's no end. So I want you to start sharing, but then also committing. Because without commitment, nothing is going to happen. If you're only interested in, I was interested to become successful at a very young age. And I was interested while I was busy failing to become successful. But I was never committed. It was only when I started making the commitment. And even when I made the first commitment, I did not truly understand what commitment, what it means. It's years later that I discover it's the intent. It's that it's already the moment that you make that commitment, the results are there. But now we have to go through the steps in order to make that result a reality. So if you want to learn more about this concept of an unstoppable mindset, I'd like you to sign up for my Unstoppable Mindset masterclass, where for 2 hours, I'm going to take you through the process, show you what is a mindset, how does this mind work, and why is it that anyone but anyone can create the skill of having an unstoppable mindset to achieve any goal that you may set out yourself. Now, one of the things I think I've mentioned it, I've said that I'm going to turn 1 rand into 100,000 per month business. And I'm going to show you exactly what's going on in your mind. How do you set that goal? Why is it that people will not get that goal? What are what we call resistors? There are 3 classes of resistors. How do you identify those resistors? How do you remove those resistors so that these limitations that we put on ourselves does not become our reality? And for that reason, you want to have unrealistic goals. I'm busy with another challenge. It's a year down the line where I've said that I'm going to turn 100 rands here in South Africa into 20 million over a 5-year period. A year later and a year into it, we're very close to 5 million at the moment. We're basically there. Other people would say it's unrealistic. When I did that, I had no idea how to do it. But because I said it, I set the thing in motion in order to activate my subconscious mind to start getting it. And then I applied the unstoppable mindset in order to do it. So in conclusion, I'd like to say this. The difference between those who can achieve great things and those who do not is that the former, sets unrealistic high goals, while the latter settle for less. So don't be one of those people that settle for less, that settle for smart goals, that settle for realistic goals. A realistic goal will never ever motivate you, my friend. It's not going to put in the juices. It's not going to change the chemistry within your brain and within your body to really go for it. I hope that you're getting at that. So please, whatever you do, do not settle for less, because I've settled for less before 1982. And each and every time I step down a little bit, step down a little bit, step down a little bit. Because you're moving to the mean, you're moving to the average. And the average is not what you think the average is. The average is far less than what you think. The average person is poor, my friend. The average person hasn't got great relationships, my friend. The average person isn't in a good physical condition, my friend. Have a look around you. You don't want to be average. Now, when I read that book, I wrote down a lot of stuff. And in a masterclass that I've got, that I'd like to invite you to that masterclass, I'm going to share a little bit more of that. And I think that you'll agree when you hear this and you hear my story, you're going to say, but Flip, were you crazy when you did that? I met my wife. 3 weeks after I met her, I asked her to marry me. She said, it's too quick. 6 months later, she said, it's okay. I promised her a house. Remember, I've got no flipping job. I've got no income. I've got nothing. I've got no security. I've got a ton of debt. Guess what I did? I made a commitment and I said, within a year, you'll have your first house. 11 months later, we moved in. This is the power of unstoppable mindset. This is what I'd like to give you, the recipe that you can follow and that you can see and make all your dreams come true. So whatever you do, don't settle for less. Set those high realistic goals and maybe in the comment section, share that with me, because the moment that there's a commitment, everything starts to change. So if you've got it, my friend, setting unrealistic high goals with an unstoppable mindset, is the key to unlocking your full potential and to reach your levels of success that you never thought. I'd never thought that. I remember once I was sitting in my helicopter and at 1,000 feet about, I got into a hover, and I slowly turned that chopper around and just giving thanks. And I thought, how is it possible that this life is my reality? Oh, I never thought that something like that could be possible. And yet that dream now is my reality. And I looked at the farm and I looked at, it's crazy. So don't be afraid to aim high and to dream big. And when you do, you will find that the sky is truly the limits. There are no limits. Now, if you're ready to take your life to the next level, I'd like to invite you to the Unstoppable Mindset Masterclass. Now, in this masterclass, I'm going to show you the exact strategies and the techniques and the method that I'm following in order to make this where I set the goal, or I set, I'm going to achieve this. And I've got no idea how, but I set a plan in motion, a system, and I systemize this whole thing where you can turn any dream into a reality and create a life of abundance, of happiness, of fulfillment. So don't wait. Sign up now. Make sure that you make your wildest dream a reality. You're going to find a link in the description area if it's on YouTube. Otherwise, somewhere on this page, click on that link and make sure that you attend. Your life will never be the same. So I'll see you then in the masterclass.